Hello, everybody. This is Liz from Project Zero at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. And this is a special event for the Global Collaboration Day representing Out of Eden Learn. For this hour, we are going to have a live Google Plus Hangout featuring educators in our online learning community. We're going to dive into a close looking activity which will give a little flavor of some of the things that we do on our platform. We are going to explain a bit more about what our program is and what we're trying to achieve. And then we're going to invite the teachers who are here online with us to share a little bit about what Out of Eden Learn has meant in their classroom and to take any questions that you might have about what we're doing. So, with no further ado, I just want to briefly introduce who we have on screen. And I'm going to go left to right. So, Shaya, do you want to start off?
Sure. Hi, I'm Shaya. I'm the project coordinator here at Out of Eden Learn.
Hi there, I'm Carrie James. With Liz and Shari, I'm co-director of Out of Eden Learn, and I'm particularly interested in how we cultivate meaningful dialogue and build community on Out of Eden Learn.
Holly?
I'm Hollis Scott, and I teach 5th grade in Danville, California, and my class participated in Out of Eden last year.
Kelly? Oh, Kelly's
mute. I'm Kelly Brooks. I'm from Groton Dunstable Regional High School in Groton, Massachusetts. I'm teaching a multi-age journalism class right now, and I've never experienced Out of Eden.
Yeah, we welcome you, Kelly. Thank you for joining us. Kyriaki?
Hi, I'm Kyriaki Meliou. I am from Greece, and I teach in the public kindergarten in Piraeus. And actually, my class participated last year in the Out of Eden Learn.
Great, thank you. Natalie?
Hi, I'm Natalie Ballet. I teach grade 5 in Marblehead, Massachusetts, and we've been with Out of Eden since its beginnings.
Great, and you also have people with you, right, Natalie?
Yes, and we have students with us today. You can all say hello. Hi.
Rob?
Hi, I'm Rob Martin. I'm a 6th grade social studies teacher in Chennai, India, and I'm preparing to start my 2nd year of doing the Out of Eden Learn project.
Great, thank you. Shari?
Hi, I'm Shari Tishman. I'm a co-director of Out of Eden Learn, and I'm particularly interested in slow looking and listening.
Great, thank you. So I think at this point, Shay, are you going to come and help us switch to the PowerPoint, or are you going to turn us over to an image? For those of you who are watching who don't have much context for Out of Eden Learn, more will be revealed after this activity, but we really wanted to start with a hands-on activity. And all I'll say is that the picture we're about to show was literally posted on our website last week and is one of our newest posts on Instagram. And we don't actually know, we don't know the student who produced this, but we thought it would be a nice one for us to practice some slow looking at together. There we are. And we're hoping that everybody is now seeing an image on their screen. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great, great. All right, over to Shari.
Okay, and if you're not seeing the image, just let us know. And if anybody's, we can't see at this moment, or at least Liz and I can't, whether people are joining off screen, but if you are joining off screen, welcome. And there's a place there that you can participate by posting notes. So, as Liz mentioned, we want to start our time together by actually doing something that's like some of what we invite students to do on the project. So there's an image that Liz explained was just posted about a week ago, and we'd like to invite you to just take a few moments to just see what you notice about this. And when you look at it, when we say this, we mean both the image and the student text underneath the image. That is what the student posted along with the image. So take a moment and then just share some of the things that you're noticing and what you see on the screen. And feel free to jump in anytime.
I see a lot of motorcycles, a bus, and traffic in a city that, yeah.
Thanks, yes. What else?
I'm noticing what seem to be air conditioners on the building on the left-hand side.
Mm. I hadn't seen that. I see that now. What else?
I noticed a green tree, which is a little bit strange because it's among all this traffic.
I see what appears to be a paved road and a line that separates the paved road to like a brick way.
I see a light coming from the back that's shining on the road and the drivers.
I noticed that one or two of the motorcyclists are wearing helmets, but not all of them.
I see a bus.
Anybody noticing anything that about the text that accompanies the image?
I'm noticing the word perpetual, which makes it sound that this scene isn't an unusual one that the student is familiar with, that she or he is presenting this as very typical.
I'm noticing the word scabbers and hubbub.
Mm.
Yeah, for those who are unfamiliar, students choose their usernames on Out of Eden Learn. We don't allow students to use their real names. We don't know what the reference is there.
What else?
I noticed the word locality and how that might point to some sort of context in which the student lives. Maybe the country, the English that they've learned.
Okay.
I'm noticing some people who are just walking, not paying attention at all to the traffic. A woman with a red cloth, I think, red dress.
Yeah, I'm noticing different types of clothing on the individuals on the side, on the brickway. And I'm noticing some people in, it looks like a longer type of robe that's red, and then I'm seeing trousers and dress shirts, and but I'm seeing different types of clothing.
I'm noticing that if the writing wasn't below, this could be a street scene in New York.
Great. Any last couple of observations before we move on? I'll go ahead.
I just had one. It seemed to me that some of the signs that are in the background, like that yellow one with the red logo, there's something a little familiar about them to me. Like it feels like they could be in many different neighborhoods.
I'm seeing, oh, that's a better view. Okay, I was wondering if there was some hand-posted signs, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, let's move on a little bit, and let me ask you another question. And some of you are familiar with thinking routines that we use at Project Zero, and I'm about to depart from a typical one. We sometimes might ask, after inviting a bunch of observations, invite people to talk about what questions they have, and but what we'd like to ask you now is to think about what you appreciate about this post. And again, the post is both the visual image and the text. So what do you like or value in what you're seeing on the screen right now?
I like the way the helmets are blocking their faces. It's makes the picture interesting.
That's very interesting observation. Thank you. What else?
I like how I don't know. It feels like I'm right there, and the traffic's coming toward me. That I'm actually standing on the side of the road.
Mhm.
I really like the lighting of the photograph. It kind of feels soft, but also illuminating. I feel like it's a very beautiful light quality.
I like seeing that everybody seems facing in the same direction. Although now that I've just said that, I'm looking at the bus and I'm wondering if the bus is turned towards the other direction, away from us.
I think exactly. I was wondering the same thing. I'll just jump in and say that I like what feels to me like the energy behind the text. The idea of perpetual traffic and a hubbub brings a kind of verbal effect to the scene for me as well.
I like that. What looks like a lonely palm tree that's upper middle of the picture adds a unique quality.
Great. Anything else?
I appreciate the fact that the student choose to capture a scene with the traffic and not to capture something else, because usually students want to demonstrate a very nice place of their neighborhood. I like the fact that he choose to capture the traffic.
Yes, I see exactly what you mean.
I also like that there seem to be multiple generations in this photograph. There's a man who has a walking stick on the right-hand side, people passing by, the people on the motorbikes, I could be wrong, but they seem maybe slightly younger. It feels like it's a little, within this snapshot, there are multiple people who live in that place who are on the picture.
I'm just going to think on that a little bit. And again, thinking about the text, I love the sense of community that the text invites us to bring to our appreciation of the image when it's the daily lives of the people here, my locality. It's very much a sense of ownership and community. Okay, let's move on to one last question that we'd like to ask you to consider, which is to make a connection. What kind of connection can you make between something in this post and your own experiences, or your own feelings, or your own interests? What connections can you make?
I feel very connected to this image because I feel the maybe made the framing a certain way, caught the motorcyclists in action, picked up on the lighting, and they were really thinking with the photographer's eye. And as a photographer, I feel very connected to the image in that way. I feel that there was some intention in taking this picture.
Absolutely. Nice thought. What else?
I feel very connected to the image because it's in Mumbai and I live in India also in Chennai, so they're both very big.
Great.
I connect to it because I teach in the suburbs, and yet I grew up in New York City, and I feel like I'm a little bit at home by looking at it, even though it's a picture in India.
My connection is more personal because I've been debating whether or not to change my mode of transportation from a car to either some type of a Vespa to a bicycle. And then I'm looking at the outfits too because I'm thinking, I wonder if I could cycle in a full robe, like what appears on that woman in red. So I'm just thinking for more my personal taste right now.
Great connection. I love that for the future. That's a great kind of. Anything else? Any other connections folks want to?
I like the composition of the photo. It has what we teach in journalism called leading lines. And I've personally been to Mumbai. It's very hot there. And the sun in the background and somehow how, you know, it's just so bright. To me, it captures the heat very well of that location.
Great. Thank you. I think we'll stand back now because we have some other places that we want to go in our time together. But let me just sort of quickly sum up a little bit and we'll move on. So,
could I ask you a favor?
Of course.
Is there any way that you can, instead of having a view where the slides are on the left, to have a full view so that my students can see the image better?
Well, we thought that's what we were seeing, actually. Let's see what we can do.
Oh, we're so sorry. We thought.
Yeah, from our view, that's what we're seeing, actually.
Yeah, I just enlarged it for our students. I just was able just to enlarge it, but
yeah,
you couldn't.
Maybe
all those great observations, just a little image.
Can I just see if is that working now? Can I ask you?
Not from my point of view, but it's not a big deal. You don't need to spend that much time on it.
Oh, we're just trying. Yeah, because I'm going to show the slides version.
Why don't I talk a little bit? Maybe I'll just say a few words while we're also fiddling with the technology.
You're breaking up, Shari.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah.
How about now?
Good.
Okay, good. Just a few words. So instead of using a thinking routine like See, Think, Wonder or See, Wonder, Connect, which are sometimes routines that we use to encourage people to slow down and work closely, we used Notice, Appreciate, Connect, which some of you have noticed comes from our dialogue toolkit. So what we've tried to do is sort of give a sense through this little experience the kind of moves that we hope young people will make when they engage with each other's moves. So we'll come back to this in a little while. Right now I'm going to turn this over to Liz, and she's going to give us sort of a program. But later, Carmen's going to come back to the notion of the dialogue and we'll get to expand on it.
Great. Great. Now, I really apologize if people are not seeing these splendid slides in full that I can see while I'm trying to talk to you. So we're doing our best on that front. I'm also wondering, because I am going to sort of talk for 10 minutes, if people wouldn't mind muting. That might be because we're getting a bit of feedback. All right, well, I'm going to back up, and we are called Out of Eden Learn because we are a collaboration with a journalist named Paul Salopek, who you can see in the National Geographic front cover there, leading some camels called Faris and Seema. And we've designed an online learning community to accompany what he's trying to achieve through his journalism. Now, his Out of Eden walk is a multi-year, it was originally 7, but we see the number creeping up, so probably 9 or 10 years in which he is literally walking around the world. And if you can see that map, he started in January 2013 in Hertoburi in Ethiopia, an area rich in hominid fossils. He's currently in Tbilisi, Georgia, in the Caucasus, and eventually he will end his journey in Tierra del Fuego at the southernmost tip of South America. Now, he's doing this in part to retrace the migratory pathways of our ancient human ancestors, and in his writing he really layers in different eras of history with the notion that he wants to think about where we've come in our unfolding human story and not just focus on kind of very small-grained current events. He is also trying to practice what he calls slow journalism. And by that he means really taking the time to walk through stories, to listen closely to people, to really look carefully at the world around. Very little technical thing. And to also tell stories that aren't otherwise being told in the mainstream media. So slow journalism can be contrasted with 24 hours news headlines, tweets, social media, some of the kind of craziness that characterizes day news media. So with that said, we're collaborating with him, and our goal is not just to teach kids about Paul Salopek and what he's doing, but we take some of the practices that he has and invite young people to slow down and do some of the things that he might do in his reporting. All right, so I'm now going to show you what our website looks like. All right, so here you're seeing a screenshot of our custom-built platform, and it's through this that young people from around the world, they have their own accounts if they're age 10 or over. If not, the teacher kind of serves more as the mediator. And they do activities, I'll flick to the next slide, that mimic what Paul Salopek does. Actually, on this slide here, I'm just trying to explain to you how it works. Part of what we try to do is group students together who otherwise wouldn't encounter each other in their everyday lives. And part of this is so that they can find out about the lives of other young people who are growing up in different circumstances. So that's a key aim of our project, to put children in contact with another, to go on a journey of exploration about where they live and what's going on in the world today. So we have people sign up. Unfortunately, this screenshot actually shows me with my with our icons. Oh, I'm going to just keep talking while we try and sort out our slideshow here. So nobody's seeing anything. It just turned off. Okay. They saw this slide. Can people?
I think that now.
Okay. Oh, so this is the slide that nobody saw as I was talking.
Now we're back. Liz, you need to put the slides back up.
We thought we had. Hang on. We won't go to full screen. That's the solution. Okay. Sorry. All right, we apologize for this because we've not had problems with screen share on here before. So I just keep like this and go through. All right, if everybody can see that. That's that was a screenshot of our website. Actually, now I'm back here, I'll say a few things I didn't mention before. There are tabs at the top that link to information about our project. We have a very active educators blog. Those of us at Project Zero write for it, but also educators, including people who are taking part in the Hangout today. Our curriculum under the tab is freely available, so anybody who's watching, who's interested, you can just access our materials and review them. And I'll just give a heads up that we spent the summer tweaking with what we call our learning journeys. So the newest version is now up there for Learning Journey 1. Community guidelines and tools, we have resources. So you can explore our website. Moving to the next slide, which, oops, you didn't see, I have to do manually. Yeah, there we are. People sign up on our website, it's free. So as an educator, you would sign up and then add a class. And then we put 6, 7 classes together, trying to make them as different as possible to each other, both in the kind of school it is, where it is it in a city, is it in the countryside, etc. So I guess the 3 pillars of what we're trying to achieve on Out of Ease and Learn, as I've mentioned, one is to invite young people to slow down in the manner that Paul Salopek is doing. And in fact, what we were doing together, led by Shari, was supposed to be a bit of a simulation of some of the things that we ask young people to do. And now we're into our 3rd year. We've really had amazingly positive feedback from young people about how they've started to notice things, see the world differently, make connections. Really, it feels to them that this is a kind of a novel and unique space, if you like, to see the world differently. And I'll note that in the current age in which we're living, when we're rushing around and are very scheduled, we as a team really think that this is an important thing to be offering students in schools, after schools, or even at home. The second pillar is enabling young people to exchange stories with one another, and also to kind of see the reporting that Paul Salopek is doing, which is often from places that are not usually in mainstream news. So that's a key place, and we've found that young people are very excited to make connections with young people in places they don't know. And then the final piece, some of our activities explicitly invite young people to make connections between their own lives and history or global things that are happening in the world. But the overall process of Out of Eat and Learn, where young people are where they live and their own lives, and seeing many different posts by other young people, I think naturally gives them a way to think about their lives in a bigger context and to see similarities, commonalities with other young people in the world today. Here, in brief, is an overview of our learning journeys. These are all available on our website. Learning Journey 1, which we're just launching right now, is really introducing young people to the idea of slowing down, looking at their neighborhoods, listening to other people who they maybe don't normally talk to. Documenting the everyday is our attempt to get young people to see where they live, or to think about their own culture rather than to think about other people having culture, and to kind of observe what is it about where they live and their daily lives that would be interesting to somebody else. Learning Journey 2, which typically follows on from Learning Journey 1, that's going more into connecting our lives to bigger human stories. And so these activities are about making connections and thinking about our connections to people and stories that went before. This slide shows how every 2 weeks a new footstep is delivered to people who are signed up, and each footstep, as we call it, has 3 parts. The first invites young people to, well, I should actually say get inspired for that one, first one, to look usually at a piece of Paul's journalism or another stimuli, and to kind of start a conversation about what it means. The second part would be an activity that the students do and then post. And then the third part, which Carrie will talk about more in a minute, is where young people comment on each other's posts and interact with one another. And I'll just give you a little view about what it looks like inside our platform. When young people log on with their own accounts, they're taken to a space. There'll be a map that shows where the other people in their group are located. They'll have the footsteps, as they unfold there on the left-hand side. The latest posts show up. If I were to click, and I think that the first icon on the top is a flag of Argentina. If I were to click on that icon, I could see all the work that student had done. And if I clicked on a particular footstep, we could see all the work that students in the walking party had done for a particular footstep. So in that sense, it does resemble social media to some extent, and it's a very dynamic kind of changing platform that students seem to enjoy. Carrie, I'm going to pass over to you and show the slide now about our dialogue toolkit, and how that works for the interact step.
Great, thank you, Liz. So Liz is displaying here the moves that make up our dialogue toolkit, and our toolkit is an effort to encourage participants in Out of Eat and Learn to be very mindful and thoughtful when they're commenting on one another's posts. As Liz mentioned, a big goal of Out of Eat and Learn is to have young people exchange stories and perspectives about their identities and about their lives with one another. And the Dialogue Toolkit is really an effort to support very mindful and thoughtful exchange, and it really connects to the other learning goal about slowing down and listening attentively to others. And some of these moves are really about doing active listening and making visible that one is really paying attention to the work of other students when they're commenting. And so I'll just talk about a couple of the moves. We carried out the notice move today when Shari led us through looking at the photograph, what stood out to us, what are we observing. So we really encourage students in Out of Eden Learn to do that kind of close observation. We also did the move of appreciate, really being specific about sharing what they like or appreciate in a photograph or a post. And this is supposed to move beyond the sort of very formal appreciate that we see on Facebook, the like or the favorite on Twitter. Probe, we encourage students to ask meaningful and thoughtful questions of one another to really understand one another's perspective. Sniff, this is a move where you cut and paste a phrase or a sentence from another student's post and then say something about it. Use one of the other moves to say something about it. What do you appreciate in this phrase or this comment? Or what are you noticing here? What do you want to learn more about? Connect, we did the connect move. What connections can you draw between what you're seeing in the post and your own life, your own perspective? And how does engaging with this particular post extend your thoughts and new decisions? So those are the key moves that we're trying to encourage in our dialogue toolkit. We also include a list of Project Zero thinking routines, which are basically multi-step routines that include many of these moves to really scaffold really thoughtful engagement on the platform. I've written a couple of blog posts that show examples from Out of Eden Learn of students' use of these particular moves, and I encourage you to look at those posts to learn more about how this dialogue works in action.
Great. Okay. I think at this point it would be, I'm going to take us out of this slideshow after I've just made a plug for some of our different social media, which you can easily get to through our website. So now let me try and just get out of that. Okay, you can all just see me right now? Yeah. So now I think everybody would really like to hear from teachers who have actually used Out of Eden Learn, and then we want to leave time for them. I don't know, maybe Holly, do you just say a word about your experience of participating in Out of Eden Learn and maybe share highlights from last year? Anything you like.
So last year was our first year, and none of us really knew what was happening, so it became an adventure and an exploration for all of us that added a life into the classroom different from the other things that we were studying. Because I teach in a very homogeneous area, I noticed this fascination that the students had for the bigger world that they weren't really getting in their lives, and they were drawn to it, the stories of the students from other countries, other states, and that was very exciting to me, and it also became meaningful because it feels like it is so important for the 21st century that students start to understand a global awareness. I mean, I think the other very important part of it was the guidelines for communicating, and I think certainly with 10-year-olds, they haven't been given enough of how to work this technology dialogue, and their parents don't really know how to teach them. So in following these very structured moves, they learned how to be respectful and to look closely, and in ways that they will transfer when communicating to their friends or other projects they're doing online. And I think this is crucial in navigating with technology. And once they did it a lot, they could catch other students in their responses that weren't doing it. And they noticed, just the fact that they noticed it was wonderful for me. I think also in all the projects that we did, our class learned a lot about each other. they learned about others from other schools. I learned so much more about their thinking because the projects were different than the projects I give them. I saw students reflecting in ways that I hadn't. And I also saw students that don't usually speak up, able to approach all these footsteps in their own ways, and it gave them status in the classroom as well. Shall I stop? I could go on a lot.
Well, we really appreciate your... Can you...
One more thing.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of teachers ask me where you find time to do this. And the standards or the Common Core curriculum that we are supposed to be following now, it just, all of it is about these footsteps. So in taking time to do this, it reaches the language arts, the reading, the history, the writing. It touches on all of them. So it was very easy to say it was valuable time.
Great.
There is a lot of echo. Yeah. So, Holly, are you on Wi-Fi by chance?
Yes.
Okay. Just to check. When you're not talking, mute your mics, everyone. All right. Thank you so much.
Did I come in clear at all?
We were able to understand you for sure. Liz, your mic is muted.
All right, I thought I'd unmuted it. Kelly, as you haven't participated yet, we'll just jump to Kyriaki for the moment. And Kyriaki, if you wouldn't mind sharing a bit about your experience with Out of Eden Learn. Great.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I have been teaching for 15 years now, and this is actually the second time that I have been so excited about something, and the first time that I have been able to involve the heart to reach parents in their children's education. As I've already mentioned, I teach in a public kindergarten, which is located in a low-income district of Piraeus, in Greece. Last year, I had a class with 25 non-speaking English young students, aged between 4 to 6, and with almost 40% of them from immigrant and refugees families not speaking Greek at home. So at first glance, this may seem as a huge challenge to our participation. But after 1 year of slow walking and learning within this unique learning community, I realized that Out of Eden is not another online course or educational program, but actually a tool for meeting and understanding our everyday lives, a tool for creating a culture of listening and being listened by others. So, looking forward for our next learning journey with you.
Thank you, Kyriaki. And I'll just say that both Kyriaki and Holly this summer did write blog posts for us that I really encourage you to look at, because they were beautiful and I think reflect some of the thoughtfulness you've just conveyed now. So thank you. Natalie, it'd be great to hear from you if you want to unmute. Great.
Hi, everybody. Well, for us with Out of Eden this year, I found that the kids took a lot of their learning to different levels. Not only when they were being very thoughtful when it came to their posts and looking at other people's work, but they were really being reflective with their own work. One of the things that was really helpful for us with Out of Eden Learn is we use Google Classroom here. And so the kids were able to do their work, their initial work, on a Google Doc, and then do some of their revisions and then post. onto Out of Eden Learn. So we were able to work, as Holly mentioned, taking full advantage of requirements with Common Core, and work on revisions and editing beforehand with our writing. And they became really, really proud of their work and proud of sharing it. Also, we learned a lot regarding technology and navigating. And Out of Eden Learn was very helpful with giving us some ideas as far as how to use some different types of technology to do our artwork. And I found that because of the technology and being new also to Google Classroom and some of the things in our class, kids were really collaborating together and working together and helping, and even as simple as helping somebody log on and log off. But the work itself became really interesting. And we were fortunate enough to also be in a walking party with Holly's kids. And one of our kids in the classroom, it was great. The dialogue was so super because he had done something artistic, and one of Holly's students was like, "How did you do that? Can you help us figure out how to do it?" And he felt so empowered because he never really thought of himself as somebody who was techie and creative, and it just gave him an opportunity to share with his classmates and to kind of be our IT person in the classroom. Lastly, the posts that are the footstep actually that was really meaningful to our class was when it came time to interviewing other people from different generations or in their neighborhood. And kids posed a lot of questions ahead of time. And for several, it was really getting out of their comfort zone. But the reflections, the post-reflections from this activity were lots of kids mentioned that they had always seen somebody in their neighborhood but never took the time to ask or to get to know the person. And it was very, very powerful with what they shared. So I will stop talking so somebody else can talk, but I could go on and on as well. So.
Great. Rob, did you want to share something?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I echo what everyone else has said. One thing I want to add is the activities are fun. The students enjoyed them. It gave them a chance to get outside the classroom. They enjoyed taking pictures. They enjoyed making maps. They thoroughly enjoyed talking with locals. My students, I teach at an international school, so I have a diverse student body. Many students come from Japan, Korea. It was very intimidating for students to get into their neighborhood and to explore their neighborhood. I remember one student, a Japanese student, simply wanted to copy a map of his neighborhood off of Google Maps. And I said, no, you can't do that. You need to get out, walk around your neighborhood, go with your mother or father. I think it was definitely, for many kids, getting out of their comfort zone. I think it was excellent. I think the students thoroughly enjoyed the activities. They loved making connections with other students around the world. It's already been mentioned as far as building listening skills. I also just believe in building mindfulness. I think that was important. And personally, I'm very passionate about what Paul's doing. I think it's amazing. I love this connection to students around the world and what Out of Eden Learn is doing. And I'll just go back to my original statement that the activities are really, really fun. I'm a big believer in project-based learning. I believe that as a one-to-one school, a BYOD or bring your own device school, building digital technology skills, establishing a digital footprint, and building digital citizenship is very important to me as well. But thoroughly love the activities, and I'm excited about starting another year. Out. Done.
Thank you. I just wanted to say we know we've got a few people watching for Global Collaboration Day, and we would love to get questions. So if you could send in your questions, either the educators or ourselves will answer them for you. And in the meantime, Kelly, Kelly's trying to manage a class in real time here in the background, as is Natalie, I might add. Kelly, I wondered if you could tell us a bit about what you're hoping, what attracted you to Out of Eden Learn, what are you hoping your students will learn, and then maybe you have questions for the other educators who are here. And you will need to unmute because, yeah, great.
Okay, so right now my students are each writing down 2 questions based on what they've just listened to. The thing that attracted me to this, our technology integration specialist sent out an email last week about, you know, Global Technology Collaboration Day, and I looked at the different events, and I was lucky because this one fell during the block that I teach journalism. And what attracted me to it was the journalism slant and the idea of the possibility of my students collaborating with students in different parts of the world. Our school, as I'm sure many schools have, has a really strong global initiative right now. We recently started a student travel program to get our students out in other parts of the world. We have students who come into our high school from other countries and study with us for a year. And I know our principal's goal is to get some of our students to start going out to other countries as well. So those are the things that attracted me to this session, and also for my students, the novelty of participating in a webinar, you know, on Global Collaboration Day. So that's it. And do you want me to ask them if they have any questions and we can relay them?
Yes, that would be great. Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have a question? Anything? You're being shy. Okay, I've got one. So what kinds of, nice and loud because they can probably hear you. Yeah.
What kinds of activities are going on this year for this program?
Did you hear her?
Was it what kinds of activities are going on this year? Is that?
Yeah, for this program.
Yeah. I can answer that. In many ways, our materials are very similar to what they were last year in terms of what we call the core learning journeys. So the slides that I hope that you saw that showed the overview, those, if you like, are our tried and tested journeys. With the first one, the kind of things you'll do is to draw a map of your neighborhood, but from your own perspective and with a story to share about it, what's important to you. That's a pretty popular activity. Another would be to take a slow walk in your neighborhood. Now, obviously not on the scale of Paul Salopek, who's basically giving up about 10 years of his life to do this, but, you know, slowing down, taking a walk, and really trying to take photographs from interesting angles, to really try and open yourself up to thinking about where you live with new eyes. Natalie had mentioned how popular interviewing somebody is, so that we have actually consistently found that really students learn a huge amount by really just sitting down and listening to usually an older adult in the community and hearing their story and perspective. And then the fifth in that first strand, and which your class will be doing, we call it documenting the everyday, but students can really choose how they do that. So they might take a short video, put together a slideshow showing how, maybe, I'll give examples. We've had ones about people preparing breakfast or getting to school or observing a shop in their local neighborhood or explaining something that happens where they live. So that's a fun one because you really start to get a little, oh wow, this is what people eat for breakfast in Erbil, Iraq, or in Greece, or something, whatever it is they're choosing to do. And then the last one is invites young people to think about a journey they might like to take themselves and to think of what the reasons are for why they might want to do that. Or to research where Paul Salopek is going next on his journey and to offer him some resources or suggestions. So I'll stop there, but that gives you a bit of an idea. One of our logos actually is you can't learn about the world through a textbook. So a big premise of our whole thing is getting young people out and looking around at the world around them and then reporting back and learning from one another. Actually, another question has just popped up here from Mary Hansel. So hello, Mary, who's watching. She asks, are the walking parties grouped by age, and how soon will we find out who is in our party? We can't wait to start. So that's great. So Mary has already signed up. So yes, the walking parties are grouped by age. Where possible, we group as closely by age as possible. So like 10 to 12-year-olds would be put together. High school, it tends to be a bit of a broader chunk, like 14 to 18. We put kindergarten and first graders together, or preschool together. So yes, because that's the one thing where we really pay good attention to, because I think different ages get different things out of this, this whole enterprise. But if you're waiting to find out where you're going, and I haven't got the spreadsheet in front of me, but if you confirmed in good time, Mary, by the latest, you should know tomorrow. We were hoping to launch last night, then today. We just have one minor technical issue we're dealing with, but it's really our commitment to get the first batch of walking parties, which is, it's well over 1,000 students going this week, and then on a rolling basis, we will have more going in the coming weeks. So if anybody's watching, either live or afterwards, you can sign up at any time. From October onwards, we then will push launching the parties through till January, because from experience it works better in waves, even given that obviously school schedules are not the same around the world, and Australia in particular, for example, earlier in the year might be a better time for them next year. Great. Any more questions? You keep them coming. But oh, Shea, did you want to add something now?
I want to throw something in. It's actually it's closer to almost 2,000 students, and I wanted to throw in a few countries that will have students participating from. We have Ghana, Armenia, Germany, Sweden, Nepal. We have Rob's classes from Chennai, India. Kiriaki's class from Paris, Greece. And we also have another kindergarten class from Italy, Kiriaki, and several others. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, I think we have a Dominican Republic coming on, don't we? In Tanzania, we have quite a few classes. So we were excited. It's an interesting mix of people who have done Out of Eden Learn before, and then we've really got some new schools signing up. I have to say it's changing on a daily basis in terms of who's on, and I will just say for people to be a bit patient, because we can't predict, because it's free and open, we can't predict who will sign up. So there is a bit of a luck of the draw. We put these groups together as best we can. So yeah, you just have to realize that with Out of Eden Learn, that we can't promise what country, what state, if you're in the US, what schools you'll be with, but we are pretty confident that you'll have an interesting experience. We've just got a few minutes left, because we have to finish at 11. Kelly, did any of your students, or Natalie, any of your students, because they're new to Out of Eden Learn, have any students got any questions?
Questions? Another question. Cody, nice and loud.
How long is how much longer is he going to be unlockable?
All right, so the question is, how much longer is Paul going to be walking for?
That's a very good question. We don't know is the answer. He's had a big break from the walk. He ended up in Tbilisi, Georgia, kind of by accident, actually, because the snows came into northeastern Anatolia and Turkey a lot quicker than usual, and he kind of had to abandon the walk when it became impossible to walk. But he has been telling us that literally in 2 weeks' time he's setting off again. I can't say too much about the route, because for his security, actually, he's being a little bit cautious. But it will be heading east along the Silk Roads, and is certainly going to involve very interesting countries that most of us will never visit, probably, or certainly haven't visited. So I'm sorry to be a little bit cryptic, but that's what's happening soon. And I would say, I'd hazard a guess, he'll be walking for another 6 years plus. Who knows? But he's not rushing, and frankly, it's all good for us, because I do think his walk's a nice reference point.
Liz, another question was too from the last class was Is he going to be on the Silk Road the entire time? I mean, is in time in Asia. Will he stay on the Silk Road?
I don't know that for sure. I mean, I think we know that he intends to be on the Silk Road, but I think that, you know, part of the excitement of following Paul is that it's a little bit emergent. So I'll see.
Yeah.
Max?
Is he like eating the natural culture of the food and stuff? Or is he just going
Interesting question. Is he eating the natural foods that are in the area, or is he kind of sticking to his, say, American diet?
Yeah, we know that. Let's just say that if Paul was a picky eater, he'd be in big trouble on this walk. So, no, we know him a bit, and actually he'll keep eating anything pretty much. I think he did say at one point he was getting tired of goat meat when he was in the desert. So, no, he has to eat whatever is there, and he embraces that. And often he writes about it, actually. So that's an interesting piece.
Let me just add a great question. And Liz is right, he embraces that, but he also embraces, to the extent he can, adopt lots of conventions. So he'll travel using local, or he'll use local animals for pack animals if it happens to be part of the culture. You'll often see him wearing a piece of clothing that might be local. So he himself has said that he's very interested in not sticking to his customs but exploring new customs.
And I'll also add, we increasingly we are planning to incorporate their voices. At the same time, he's very reliant on local people, so he always hires a local walking guide who can explain to him the culture, the customs, help him navigate his way around. So to that extent, he really relies on other people. And then, just to add it in there, at the minute he's doing 15 hours of Russian language learning a week, because as he goes on to the next little country, that's going to be the most useful language for him to learn as he goes. So.
Well, I have about 12 different hands up that we're going to have the kids write these questions down and probably send them in to you, because now they're all excited. So.
And can I just say that we've now simulated, I think young people are very interested in the Galapagos journey. I think we've demonstrated that a bit, but you know, it's a very unique project in a sense, because it's a very compelling writer, and if you like, adventurer, for want of a better word. So that part of it does make our project unique. On that note, because we have to be mindful of the time, partly from our end, but also to respect the Global Collaboration Day schedule, I just want to really thank especially our educators for joining us today, and really you are what makes Out of Eden Learn special. Without the students and the teachers taking part, this would be nothing. So it's an aspect of the work that we really enjoy and appreciate. So thank you, and look out for those emails that will tell you what your new walking party is going to be, and you know, good luck with the new journey.
Yeah. See all of them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.